have much to say. I read for, I don't even know how long this one. I loved it. I did really enjoy it. It's just the weirdest thing ever. I actually love them. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Ria, and in today's video we are going to be reading some of my 5-star predictions. In obvious hopes that I'm going to find 5-star reads. I will preface this by saying this is future me talking to you guys. I have read these books. But let's go back in time and get straight into the reading of this video. I do have obviously a long list of potential 5 stars and 5-star predictions. So hopefully we can do another episode of this in the future if you do enjoy this. But for now, there's this. I hope you enjoy, and I will hand you over to Past Me. I think it's time. I mean, it has been months, but I think now is time. I'm not going to have an opportunity like this again for a while, and I do really want to read this, and I've been kind of savouring this book for when I have a big chunk of time to just sit and read. If you don't know, this book is over 1,000 pages long. Literally insane, but I think we can do it. So we're going to get straight into this. I think I'm on chapter 2. I need that light to do something that's not like that. So, I am just checking in with you guys because I feel it's been so long. I have picked up Alchemized and also Heated Rivalry. I'm not going to include Sin Bin as a book in this video, I don't think, because I don't know, I feel like every time I do one of these videos there's at least one DNF, which kind of sums up my reading experience every day. So at the moment I've been between Heated Rivalry and Alchemized, and I'm currently on chapter 14 of Alchemized, which is 200 pages in, so at least I'm there with that. I mean, I do have over 800 pages to go, but I am kind of between reading, listening to this book because I don't know, it's been difficult. I think the reason why it's been so difficult for me to get through is because I read like half of Manacled, and it's actually, sorry, I don't know if I'm meant to say this, I don't know if it's just me who's felt like this, but for me it's been very similar. It's just obviously the names and a bit of the world building is different to Manacled, but at the moment for me it has felt quite similar. Like particular scenes have been literally the exact same, just with different names, and literally that's it. It still feels very similar to what I have read. Now I've gone into this, so it's like I can't help but try to connect the two books, even though they're meant to be very different. I think because it's such a chunky book, it's so difficult to have a massive opinion on it so far. But for now I would say that I am kind of, I feel a bit indifferent. Like it's, at times I'll be like, wow, this is so good, and then at times I'll be like, I could not care less, I do not want to pick this book up ever again. I am enjoying it, it's just quite difficult to, it's quite difficult when I'm enjoying it but I'm also not enjoying it. And also I will say it feels like there's a lot of stuff that does not need to be included. Personally for me, as I've been reading, I feel like I just cannot retain half of what I read because there's so much world building and there's so much going into it that I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna remember this in the next chapter. Like it just feels unnecessary, the amount of world building there is. Obviously it's all about these alchemists and their, like, the war that happened, and like then there's this whole backstory before the war and like the entire setup of the world. It just, I will say at times it does feel excessive personally. Aside from that, it's good. I am enjoying it. Like this morning I was listening to the audiobook whilst I got ready for work and I was really enjoying listening to it. So yeah, other than that I don't really have much to say. From how I'm reading it, I wouldn't say it's going to be a 5-star or God tier like I know it's for other people, but I don't know. You can't really tell when you're about, I mean, a fifth of the way through the book. If you don't know, get to know, because who doesn't know about this book at this current time? I am on chapter 10 of Heated Rivalry. I am actually really enjoying it, but I will say it's not feeling like, I don't know if I'm missing something, but I'm not understanding the absolute craze. I haven't watched the TV show yet because quite frankly I've been too scared to try and watch it. I will be watching it this weekend because it's coming on to Sky on the 10th, so 3 days, and I will be binging the series. So yeah, I'm excited for that. But honestly, this has been fun. It's kind of like my chill, relaxed book, whereas this is my like, I do really like both the main characters, but I'm, again, like I just said, I'm not getting the absolute, oh my god, I need to binge this series, I'm obsessed, like this, my life has actually changed. I'm not getting the obsession. Please tell me it's coming, because I've got, I mean I do have 70% of this book to go, but at the moment it's not quite hit. We're gonna read a bit of Heated Rivalry. I don't know if you can see that, Heated Rivalry. I'm on chapter 20, so 233 pages through this, 62%, and I think I've got around 3 hours left. Also I feel like the obsession for this book for me is now like set in. It's not an obsession where I'm like, oh my god, my life is forever changed, but it's an obsession where I'm like, I love Ilia and Shane. Oh my god! I love them! I love them! Stop. Oh my god, stop. Actually, I can't. This is the cutest scene ever. Like, it's so cute. Oh my god. I love Ilia's soft side because you just never really see it. And I just, oh my god, I love it. I love it. That was not okay. It has been a few days since I finished Heated Rivalry. It is, honestly, I'm here to update you on it because, yeah, that was so good. I literally haven't read anything since, but I finished it 2 nights ago. I honestly really enjoyed it. It was a bit of a slow start for me, and I didn't really hugely get into it until we were at like almost 5-6 years of them knowing each other. So probably around 2014 Las Vegas. So 60% of the way through this book was when I really got obsessed with it. I loved it. I did really enjoy it. For me, it was not a 5-star. It was really good and I did really enjoy it, and it was a 4.5, but I honestly just didn't have enough obsession at the beginning. I wasn't instantly like, oh my god, I can't put this down. It did take me a hot second to get into, but I did really love it. I feel like the ending, where like the second half, where you can really see that they are falling for each other but are scared of coming out too well because of the position they're in, it does make me emotional, because it's like, it just shouldn't even be a thing. Like, it shouldn't be a thing where you're like, love is love. Literally whatever situation you're in, it should not be a possibility for you to not want to come out because you're scared of people's reactions. At the end of the day, even fearing like coming out should not be a thing. Fortunately it is, but it should not be a thing. And I literally spent my entire evening watching the first 5 episodes. I have The Cottage left to watch, and honestly, so good. I know I read the book and I managed to finish the book before I watched the TV show, but honestly I was not expecting the time jumps, because obviously you get in a show so much less in a monologue than you do in the book, because obviously they're not going to be like talking over the scenes of what they're thinking. I kind of prefer the TV show in actual sense of what's the actual dialogue. I prefer that, but then I prefer the book for the inner monologue, because there are things that I've watched on the show that I'm like, oh, but he's actually thinking this. Aside from wishing there was the inner monologues to go with it, I do prefer the show, because you obviously get the actual portrayal and seeing them act it out. I honestly have loved it, and I do think Hudson and Connor are the perfect cast for Ilya and Shane. I really did love it, and I really just had the best time reading this book. Now that I'm on the subject of the show, I really loved episode 3 that was about Scott and Kip. I said on my TikTok, I'm going to be insufferable, and you can just tell in the first 2 episodes that Scott so knows what's up with Shane, at least just Shane, and I just found it so funny to see, because you can just tell from his reactions, he was like, yeah, you know. Episode 5, so good. The acting, especially, I can't even say it, but Connor's acting when he got back from Russia and in Russia on the phone, just that entire episode, wow, honestly, top tier for me, and I will refer to that when I think of good acting. Like, honestly, so good. And then I loved the end of episode 5 where they're like watching New York win the Stanley Cup. For me, I definitely enjoy the later parts of the book rather than the beginning, because I don't know, I just feel like it's way more personal at that point. So yeah, I love, it's more personal between them, and I love seeing that. I love seeing their connection really grow, and you can just see the way they look at each other. It was so good. I know I said, but I definitely think I prefer the show to the book, aside from the inner monologues. I just love seeing Hudson and Connor play Ilya and Shane, and they portray them so well. I feel like the one thing that took away from it was the fact that it took me 60% to get into it, but aside from that, absolutely love it, and I cannot wait to read the second book. I'm going to obviously continue with Alchemized now. I have, let me see how long I've got left. I've been listening to it, and for me, I definitely prefer part 2. It feels like there's more going on, and I really enjoy the scenes between Kane and Helena. I just really like seeing them at this point. I just feel like neither side is right. I don't know if that's just me, but when I've been listening, it just feels like the Eternal Flame is actually quite bad, but then it's like I'm not supporting the other side either, so I don't know. I'm enjoying it. It's not feeling like a huge god tier book for me, but I think that's because I'm listening to it, which is obviously I could read it, but I don't know why I just cannot bring myself to read the book. And I am really enjoying the audiobook as well, so I'm going to continue doing that when I have other tasks I can be doing whilst listening to it. And yeah, I've got, how long have I think I've got like 11 hours left. I think the reason why I've struggled to pick this book up physically and read it is because of the fact that I obviously read Manacled, and because it's such a long book I don't want to reread that. Sometimes I'm really not good at rereading, which is crazy because I'm really good at rewatching TV series I love. That's kind of all I've got to say. Another thing I can't really get behind is the amount of world building there is, because it feels like there is so much to know, but also like it's one book. I feel like I can't retain it all. I am enjoying it, however much I've said things against it. I am still really enjoying it, and I'm still really enjoying seeing what happens in the war and what happens between Kane and Helena. I am now, I'm just looking at Audible, I'm on chapter 53 and I have just under 6 hours left as an audiobook. I'm about to go into chapter 54, so I am getting through it now, but it's taking me so long. The only time I really do listen to it as an audiobook is when I'm getting ready in the morning. That'll be like an hour of listening, and then if I'm doing some day-to-day tasks like making myself some food, making myself a drink, you know, those sort of things, that's when I'll listen to it. It's taking me a while to get through. I've honestly not been great with audiobooks recently because I don't have the time to just waste on hobbies. I'm also going to include the book I picked up a few days ago to read, which was The Blood We Crave, Part 1 by Monty J. This is the third book in the Hollow Boys series, and it's the first book about Thatcher and Lyra. If you don't know, I read the first 2 books last year. I think it was October. I loved them both. I devoured them both, and I am actually almost done now. It's quite a short book compared to the others, so I have read 230 pages of this 350 page book. When I first picked it up to start going into, I was like, I'm not sure. It took me 4 chapters to get hooked, and yesterday I could not put it down just before bed. I literally had to stop myself at like 11 p.m, otherwise I would stay up until 1 a.m, and I was just so tired I needed to go to bed. I read for, I don't even know how long this one, like 2 hours, and I got 100 pages through. Now I've got just over 100 pages left. So my aim, now that I've gotten the video I needed to edit uploaded to YouTube, I'm now going to read until I'm done with this book. And honestly, we will see if it's a 5-star, because at the moment it feels like it could be, but I'm not 100% sure because obviously I've still got a bit of the book left to read. But I'm just like, oh my god, I'm obsessed with both these characters. I love, love, love Lyra, and I think that's one of the standout things about this series, is the fact that all of the FMCs are really likeable and really strong characters, and that is something I am loving. Kind of just jump back into this without thinking, because I feel like at the moment if I think too much about what I'm going to read, I just can't bring myself to pick anything up. But this is making me feel like I'm not in a slump anymore, which is great, because that was the worst and longest slump I've ever been in. It's just the weirdest thing ever. Every time I picked up a book, it would be a bad book as well, like a really badly written book. Now that I've picked up something I know I potentially love, it is helping. I cannot wait to see where it goes. And I feel that once I finish this, I might jump straight into part 2. have an update for you all. Last time I spoke to you was yesterday, and I know I said I was going to sit and finish The Blood We Steal. No, I always get these titles so wrong. The Blood We Crave, part 1. I was going to finish that. And I did actually manage to just about finish it last night. I was saying, oh yes, I've only got an hour left. I'm going to finish this at like 7. And then I ate my dinner. I sat downstairs for like 2 hours. And then I came back up and I got stuck in this TikTok doom scroll. Then I managed to put my phone down at like 11, which is so bad, and I hate being on my phone at that sort of time. So I then picked up this and I read the last like 40 minutes I had. I actually really enjoyed this. I think I have settled on a 4-star. It didn't quite feel like a 5-star for me, and I honestly just think some bits of this did just make me feel a bit icky. Aside from that, I didn't have any issues with it. I actually really enjoyed Lyra and Thatcher's part 1 of their story. I cannot wait to go into book 2. I don't know if I'm going to go in yet, but I am so happy I got this done, and I cannot wait to see where it next goes. I just don't know if I am in the mood for another romance right now. I feel I should go into a fantasy because it's been a while and I really am missing the genre. So I think I'm going to go into that, and then I might come back to The Blood We Crave part 2. But honestly, this was such a good start for their like little duology within the series. I actually really enjoyed their story, and the way Thatcher is just like kind of opening himself up to emotions. I love Lyra so much. I feel like she is very much underestimated as a character, and she is actually much stronger than people assume she is. I enjoyed seeing that side, and I cannot wait to see again the next bits and see where it really comes out to play, and to also see where the plot goes, because I feel like we actually didn't have much plot development within this, because obviously if you've read the series, you'll know that there's a sort of mystery side of this story, and I feel like we didn't get much of that in this book, but I obviously know the second bit will probably have more, and then the last book will have a conclusion, hopefully. I am enjoying this series. Still feel like Rook and Sage's book was my favourite so far, but I've obviously got 2 more books to go, so I don't know. I feel, okay, I'm gonna sneakily say this. I feel like Silas's book might be my favourite. I don't know, I feel like it might be. I've seen some little like snippets of what goes on in that book, and I'm like, is that gonna be my favourite? I am excited to continue, and I think I just need a little fantasy between. And I love these covers. I know they're not the most complex, but they're just, compared to other covers I've seen, they are more unique. I love are they even flowers? The flowers, and I just love how simple it is, but it gives the series, do you know what I mean? It gives the Hollow Boys. So yeah, I'm loving it so far. All I've got to do is finish Alchemized, which is going to take me another 5 hours, but still. That's what I've got for now to talk about. I will be back once I've finished Alchemized. You're like balancing right now on some books, because I could not be bothered to get my tripod out and get the right angle because it takes so long. I'm here to give you my last update. I have finished Alchemized. Honestly, it took me so long to get through this book. I started it at the end of December and I finished it on the 21st of January. So yeah, it did take me almost a month to get through. What do I even have to say about it at this point? I genuinely don't know, because I feel like I went in with so much expectation. Obviously this is a 5-star prediction video, so all of these books I thought would be 5 stars. None of them have been. They've all either been, I think Heated Rivalry was a 4.5, The Blood We Crave was a 4, and then Alchemized was, I think I've settled on a 3.75, because 3.5 feels too low, but then 4 feels too high. So I think that's where I've settled and decided it is going to be. I don't even know. It felt like it was really dragged out, in my opinion. I know obviously world building is essential in a fantasy world, but it felt like there was so much unnecessary world building, because by the point everything has happened, you don't need to know everything. I know that kind of sounds bad, like why am I even a fantasy reader if I don't want to know everything, but like There were so many unimportant details added, and obviously you can tell that there's going to be unimportant details when it's an 1,000-page book. I personally think there was too much. I think it could have been cut down to maybe 700 pages, 800 pages, I don't care. It shouldn't have been over 1,000 pages in my opinion because of how much detail there was. I feel like when it came down to it, half of what was written wasn't very important to the story. And honestly, I sound really negative when I say this, but like, it just didn't feel very important and it felt like it was just being dragged out. I don't know. I think I'm in the minority there because everyone else really loves this book and everyone else had it as God tier. So I don't know if it's because I listened to it. It honestly didn't hit quite the same for me, and I do feel like it might have been a bit better if I had read it instead. But honestly, in the future, if I ever did reread it, I would physically read it instead of listening to it. But I've learnt my lesson and I will not be audiobooking a book I really want to have like the immersive read of. I connect way more when I read a book instead of listening to it. I also just thought the ending was a little bit like, I so expected something else. I honestly just didn't really like love the ending. I feel like it would have hit and been way more emotionally impactful if it had been what I was thinking. Aside from that, I literally have nothing to say. I did care, but I didn't care. Do you know what I mean? It lacks emotional impact for me. I feel like that is because it was so long and there was so much detail I just didn't really care for. And again, I will say it's probably because it was an audiobook. I never connect to an audiobook the same way I would a physical read, so take it with a pinch of salt. That wraps up this video. I honestly feel like this has been the longest video in the making. I used to be able to make reading vlogs in a week. Now I can't even do one in a month, so I don't know what's going on there. We haven't had a 5-star in this one. If I make another episode in the future, hopefully we'll be able to find a 5-star then, but for now we haven't. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, comment, let me know. I love hearing from you all, and I will see you all very soon in the next one.